Hey Cancer, let's do a no contact tarot. For those of you who are separated from your person, you definitely can be in love. But if you're separated from a friend even or a family energy, whatever the dynamic is, we're going to look into that because you guys have been absolutely loving these ones. You love requesting these ones, and I haven't gotten to do a no contact tarot reading for you lately because I just spent the first 3 weeks of this month uploading the 12-month full year 2026 tarot reading for each horoscope sign. And yeah, 12 months is a lot. That was an hour video for every single zodiac sign. So now that I've got that done, let's get into these and let's see if you're going to be hearing from your person. And we're at the end of this, of course, we're going to look into, if you are hearing from them, what they're going to communicate about. Okay. Nine of Pentacles in the reversal, Queen of Pentacles in the upright, Knight of Wands in the upright. I'd say right away, yes, you are going to hear from your person. I think one of the strongest indications is this Nine of Pentacles energy right here in the reversal, because in the reversal, Nine of Pentacles means codependency when we're dealing with relationships and people needing to lean on each other. And people think of codependency all the time and get really scared of it. They want to be perfect all the time, like a math diagram, a human diagram, a science project, or a psychology project. And you know me, I love biology and I love talking psychology when I'm in these readings, but there's a spectrum of experiences that you can have in life, and codependency is something that humans are supposed to have to some degree. We're codependent on our bosses, codependent on our employees, codependent on the bus man driving us to work, codependent on our children. They are codependent on us. Like having realities between people, just because you hear the word codependence in a documentary you watch on YouTube doesn't have to be a negative thing. And I say that particularly with two people who have this energy of wanting to depend on each other, because the two people are showing up right here. In history, Arthur Edward Waite, who was the creator of the famous Rider-Waite-Smith deck, he spoke of any court card, which is what these two cards are, as the energy of people. This deck that I'm using is called the Animal Oriens Tarot deck, but this deck is based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, so the meaning remains the same as the way that I interpret the Arthur Edward Waite Rider-Waite-Smith way of things. The Queen of Pentacles is one person in the dynamic, and the Knight of Wands is another. You can let me know which one you are, but here's how it goes. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody who is very intellectual. They use their intelligence to map out what it is they're doing. This is the kind of person who could be very literal, by the way. Scanning, analytical. I know a lot of people historically give the Queen of Pentacles to the energy, they give the energy of the Queen of Pentacles over to the Queen of Swords. But historically, Arthur Edward Waite gave logical intellect to the Queen of Pentacles. He didn't believe that Pentacles was just connected to the earth energy or an astrology sign. A lot of people read tarot in a modern sense and connect them to astrological understandings, but that's more of like a Grand Orient tradition or the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which are two different groups in history right alongside when Arthur Edward Waite was around. Those groups used to read tarot card with astrological understandings, but the most famous tarot card deck that everybody's using these days and that they base their cards on, their decks on, is Arthur Edward Waite's deck, and he didn't say that. He did not say that the Queen of Swords was just intellect. Again, that was the Queen of Pentacles. I love that this is in the upright position, because it means she's grounded and it means she's going to have successful energy with what it is that she's doing, because she contemplates. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith sense, that Queen of Pentacles is holding a coin in her hand as she sits on her throne. And a pentacle is anything that you value. And it shows up in the three-dimensional world, which means for some people they value a car. That shows up in their three-dimensional world. Other people value their job. That brings in money. That shows up in the three-dimensional world. And others of you value love. So you sit and you contemplate that because it shows up for you, at least you want it to, in the three-dimensional world. And the Queen of Pentacles is analyzing that. So you might find yourself in a very analytical mind frame when it comes to thinking about the person that you're dealing with. And then we have the Knight of Wands. This is that other energy that we have here. Somebody, this is an interesting one, who goes forward and travels to you. To do what? To come and communicate. Knights are traditionally held as messenger cards because they typically do go in history. Like imagine a knight in shining armor, right? They go from one castle to the next castle and they're usually sending a message. So the Knight of Wands card insinuates communication. The Queen of Pentacles insinuates opening themselves up and being open to communication. And the Nine of Pentacles insinuates abundance through codependency, through uniting and being okay with being dependent on other people. Let's think about a queen here again for a second, or even a knight, or any of the court cards. These are symbolic representations of people in kingdoms. And if you understand a kingdom, even that requires codependency. And what does a kingdom require to be codependent on, you would think? Should a king or a queen ever be codependent on their subjects below them? Of course they are, because who are they going to rule over in their kingdom unless they come out of their kingdom or come out of their castle every once in a while and go and communicate with the people in the village? They actually do have a relationship with one another that requires that open communication. And that's why it's present here in this reading that yes, there will be messages exchanged. Yes, you will see contact. And that in fact, codependency isn't actually the worst thing in the world. You need people to help you out in this world. Like if I stand or sit right where I'm at right now, I can see what's in front of me, but I can't see what's directly behind me. If I had another person with me, they could see what's behind me. And if I turn around right now to see what's behind me, guess what I can't see anymore? The other side that I was just looking at. Humans are designed to be in an agreement, in an alignment with the other humans in their community. Humans need community, right? And it looks like you and this person, or you and this friend, maybe you and your family member, or if this is you and a spouse, you guys are each other's community. You know what I mean? So we've got a yes energy here with the messenger energy, with the communication. What I want to do now is I want to grab that deck again, shuffle a little bit of an understanding, and see what you guys are going to communicate about, because that's what's up. I see communication for you Cancers with you and your person. Whoever that particular person is, or I guess as they call them nowadays, special person. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. Okay, what's the topic? Oh, the King of Wands. That Knight of Wands wants to grow. Oh, come on. For those of you in love relationships, you've got the King of Wands looking at a Queen of Pentacles, both of them in the upright. You know the King of Wands always goes for what he wants, right? Oh, what a unique dynamic. The Queen of Wands is here. 2 queens. What? Okay. Let me say again, you know the King of Wands always goes for what he wants, right? Right? And he's looking at his Queen of Pentacles. This is somebody who says, I want to be close to you. That Queen of Wands card can refer to another person, but before we get into discussing that, for those of you who weren't dealing with a third party, the Queen of Wands, when it's in the reversal, is somebody who loses their ability to have close intimacy with someone. That includes on a friendship level. There are values of intimacy with friendships. That includes those of you who are in a family situation, because intimacy can be had between family. We're not talking about the crazy kind here. We're talking about general vulnerability, closeness, hanging out, being willing to feel safe with somebody, right? Right now, somebody does not feel that sense of bond, closeness, and intimacy, and they want to talk about that. But they also want to talk about how they want to come together. Right? The King of Wands, by the way, in historical tarot is the one king who acts in truth for everything that he does. People give the King of Wands a bad rep in modern tarot, often calling him a player, somebody who's super passionate, that he thinks about is lust, and it's a really unique take. But I mean, I agree with people using their intuition when they're doing readings, although historically speaking, that is not what the King of Wands card means. That's just something that's become popular. Traditionally speaking, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the card is known specifically as the one who goes forward with truth in mind in everything he does. He is austere yet severe. Even in the reversal, some people think that the reversal of a card must mean it's a negative. And Arthur Edward Waite, again, when he created his tarot deck and he published the instructions on them in 1910 in a book called The Pictorial Key to the Tarot, he specifically mentioned many cards that mean good things when they're in the reversal. And the King of Wands is one that does still hold a positive meaning. It's just when the king is in the reversal, this King of Wands, he has the severity to him. He's called austere and still truthful, yet severe. But you didn't get him in the reversal. You have somebody who is more like a comfy lion. Have you ever seen a lion who just wants to kind of bask and snuggle with his lioness? That's the King of Wands in the upright. That's why we've got this energy of the lion on the depiction of the Orion's Animal Tarot deck. He can be severe. That lion can be severe, but he's not trying to be, not in the upright position. He wants to speak about the truth of the matter, how he's looking towards the direction of the Queen of Pentacles, and why it is that he's lacking that feeling of closeness. Okay, Queen of Pentacles we know is the person who's analyzing with intellect. So in the alternative, if the Queen of Pentacles is your person, then they want to talk to you about how they're, again, looking towards you. Same dynamic. In fact, when I laid these cards down, they are both looking at each other, right? But in this case, the person, if they are playing the part of the Queen of Pentacles, they want to really approach things from an intellectual, contemplation-based way of being. Which means they're probably going to say things to you like, well, I was thinking. Well, I was contemplating. I kept thinking about this thing about you. This is the kind of person who wants to tell you that they keep thinking of you because it's the card of contemplation. And then finally, we step into that territory of the Queen of Wands. As I mentioned, for some of you, this has nothing to do with a third party. This is just a card whose energy belongs to potentially the King of Wands. But for those of you who are dealing with somebody that was a third-party situation, which means you could have dealt with a person who was already dating somebody, so you got separated from them, because it is a King and a Queen of Wands. But you could also have dealt with a circumstance like if you were in a relationship and somebody cheated. The Queen of Wands in the reversal is the card of envy and jealousy. On top of being that energy of a loss of intimacy, you could very well have to communicate with somebody. Like if this is your case, if you had a situation where you were jealous and you could see dynamics of jealousy, then this card is showing up because you're going to end up conversating about those dynamics of jealousy and intimacy in that direction. Because then the loss of intimacy happened because of a person who is no longer in the situation because she's in the reversal. Now the Queen of Wands, as the third party, has the loss of intimacy. They've got eyes for you. Just be careful with that one. Because, you want to get into a situation with somebody who has emotional availability. And maybe if there was a dynamic of a third party involved, then that person would need some time to heal or to grow. And make sure they're not dragging any of that energy into the relationship further, right? I do like that it's in the upright position, the Queen and the King, and that the other Queen of Wands is in the reversal out of the intimacy dynamic, so it doesn't look like you'd have to deal with that going forward, another person going forward. Because again, it's not like we have the Devil card or the Tower card here, ultimate doom and gloom in the future. It's just somebody who wants to talk about it, not talk about it and make it worse. The last thing I want to mention is when we have two queens, there's a specific meaning to this. A lot of tarot readers, honestly, a lot of tarot readers don't even let you look at the cards close up. They kind of just hold it on the screen really quickly and move on and do a lot of intuitive work. And I love that for them. But for me, I love telling you guys about what happens when you have more than one of the same number of a card, or in this case, two queens. Sometimes you get two aces or two tens. And in the dynamics of the queens, if you have them in the upright, both of them, it means a certain thing. If you have them in the reversal, it'll mean something completely different. And if you have one in the upright and one in the reversal, which is what you have right here, then it has its own meaning. In the upright, if these were both in the upright, it would mean sincere friends. It's two queens. It's easy to understand and remember that two queens in the upright, they're friends with each other. Two queens that are in the reversal, though, is people who are dealing with a lot of work. or something is going to take a lot of work. Now, if you take those two combinations and you merge them together, because we have one in the upright and one in the reversal, then we understand that another conversation that's going to be important that you have with this person is the hard work that it's going to take at returning to a state of sincere friendship. This person wants to communicate about how they want to build up from you with an appropriate place of friendship, whether that's friendship or family. Think platonic, sincere platonic growth. But with the two queens here, it does mean that there's got to be effort and work put into it. And it looks like this person is going to acknowledge that that effort and work is going to be present. And that's valuable. Honestly, there's no better coming together with someone than to really truly establish a firm foundation from a platonic position to benefit you later on when you're dealing with your family bonds, or when that friendship has grown beyond to whatever it could be, or a relationship. Those things want to start from a good platonic mutual understanding to blossom into a beautiful relationship later on, whichever kind of relationship you have. Even at a coworker, you want to have a mutual understanding platonically, and it takes work and collaboration and understanding of the other person for that coworker dynamic, if that's what it is for you, to blossom beautifully. So yeah, you guys have communication coming in, and I'm going to leave you off with that. Enjoy the constructiveness of your communication when it comes in. And if you're interested in a reading just like this is the same as my 2 questions for $20 readings. You can always contact me at the link in my bio or clicking the information in the description below and get a quick reading like this. I can send a video to you with your cards laid out exactly like they are here. And that's in the same day that you order. The same day you order a reading like this is the same day you get that in your email sent back to you, and you get to watch it. It's really fun. So if you're not interested in that, though, head over to my TikTok. I've got other free videos up there. And if you ever just want to chat, because I'm a whole damn human, I'm just doing my thing on Facebook, you can send me a personal friend request on my actual Facebook account. My real shit. It's not a page. If you find the Linny D page, don't go to that one. Just add me on my regular Facebook. By the way, that's just where I'm chatting and hanging out. Yesterday, I posted up videos of ink blot tests because I was fascinated with some ink I found in my house. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for being here, and ciao for now.